listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome everyone to Cult Talk Net's part 2 of our Christmas Gift Exchange A-Palooza. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
I'm
Bailey.
God damn it! God damn it! Never. I never get my name. Fuck it. I'm here. That's what I am.
I'm Ursa.
I'm Michael.
I waited so goddamn long that time.
he was waiting. You're like, well, fine. This is a good spin.
That pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't know I was waiting for that, but I'm glad I did.
Well, if you guys are joining us, obviously, last night you guys got to hear us all pick names for who we were going to draw to make watch a movie to review. For our Christmas gift exchange A-Palooza. That's part 1. It's all on youtube.com/culttalknet. And we spent the night watching the movies, and we woke up this morning, and here we are
to
fresh. Review them.
Yep.
It feels like it was just last night we did this.
Just last night.
Last night.
Actually, I woke up and watched mine this morning.
Still counts. Still counts.
Same.
You picked the name last night. You got up this morning and watched it.
Yep.
That's definitely what happened.
So here's how we'll do it. I don't recall the order we went in because last night. Last night was a long time.
It's a long time ago. I think Eric.
That's 12 hours. That's 12 hours.
I think Eric was beside me. No, Eric was across from me. I
think
think
you were first. You were first.
I drew the first name.
I know Urs was last. That's all I know. And I was before Urs.
Yeah, we had a lot of eggnog last night.
Yeah, I was going to say, everybody was so smashed.
There was quite a bit of punch.
A lot of punch. Punch and eggnog for the
definitely a lot of fucked up DoorDash orders, if I remember.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Every goddamn time.
I know.
DoorDash, goddamn. What the hell?
So at least the government knows that this cult will never take over the world because we can't even get a fucking DoorDash right. Like,
it's not us. It's fucking DoorDash. We didn't have anything.
Right, but I mean, imagine if we made any sort of plan. It's like, and now we need them to do this. They can't do it. Whatever it is we need them to do, impossible.
Impossible.
Mike ordered double A's and they brought you like C's.
Yeah,
they brought me triple A's.
Yeah,
and
they're like, this is.
I ordered like 2 different monsters. They brought me fucking Red Bulls. I'm like, what is going on?
They brought you 2 whole packs of Red Bulls.
I had never seen that before. Literally every item was messed up.
It was so wrong. I felt like I was being punked in some fashion. Like it was just so wrong.
So almost everything I could understand, but the batteries, because it's not like they're like, okay, he needs AA, but I can substitute him AAA because you can do that.
That's totally how
no, you refund that fucking money.
Yeah.
Right, because energy drink for energy drink, that works. That's fine.
Sure. Yeah,
Caffeine
I understand that logic.
Not the batteries.
God,
but so who we want to go first? I could say who I picked and then let them review.
Yeah, you say the movie, say who you picked, what movie you chose for them. If you want to say a little bit about the movie and then shoot off them, we have 10 minutes. You can't exceed 10 minutes. You can go less than 10 minutes. That's fine.
Right.
No more than 10 minutes or else we'll be here all night.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give Ben 15.
Yeah, I was going to say, because not going 10 minutes is, I mean, Jesus, what are we going to do for the other?
I'm sure
8 minutes and 74 seconds, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, come
Ben
on.
doesn't have strong opinions on much, so I don't expect it to be.
That's a fucking lie.
Oh, Bailey didn't get the joke.
I don't know what.
I was just offended at the joke, to be honest with you.
Bailey, like Drax in a certain part of our population, doesn't understand sarcasm.
Aww, I'm just gullible.
It's okay. Drax is badass.
Drax is awesome.
Yeah.
The name I pulled out of the bag was Ben.
Yeah.
And being festive, I decided to keep it festive, which I picked Long Kiss Goodnight, which is a Christmas movie, takes place around Christmas, has a lot of Christmas themes. Ben might debate that slightly. I don't know. And I wanted Ben to watch something with a strong female character too, just to really irk him. So Ben, tell me about Long Kiss Goodnight.
Okay,
Got
so
your timer, Mike?
Start the timer.
all right, so 30,000 foot overview. It's Gina Davis and Samuel Jackson. Actually, it's kind of the Born Identity or whatever it was with Matt Damon. She has amnesia. She has a family. Then she discovers she's a CIA agent. Samuel Jackson plays a PI who's this disgraced cop who helps her investigate. They get in all kind of shenanigans. It's a 90s action flick that's written by Shane Black. You can tell that shit from a mile away. And I mean, it's a lot of fun, but it's dumb as fuck.
What was dumb about? What do you want to focus on? I'll let you take this where you're going to go.
No, so a lot of the stuff kind of suffers from kind of problems that we had in the 90s, right? Like gasoline explosions when they shouldn't be explosions, things like that. At some point, would like to touch on a larger thing about there are traits that I think female action heroes can't have that male action heroes can have, and vice versa, that they just don't come off properly. One of them is this kind of like snarky one-liner wit. It works with a muscle-bound guy like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't think it quite comes off. Like if Ripley or Sarah Connor was pulling off one-liners, I just don't think it would have worked. And I think this movie kind of shows why. This was the guy that also did Treasure Island, and we all know how that went. So, listen, I like Long Kiss Goodnight. I do. It was a lot of fun. It's I would put it up there with like The Rock, where it's not quite as good as The Rock. You got Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, but it's within that kind of 90s action tier where it's dumb fun, but it is fun. Yeah, there was some stuff in there that I questioned. And I read some stuff up on it that said that Gina Davis and the director, who was her husband at the time, which is never a good idea, folks. Don't do that. They were hoping that this and Treasure Island would kind of introduce women into the what was the dying 80s action genre at the time. And so the witty one-liners are kind of part of that. I just don't think it worked. Whereas if they would have played her off more sarcastic, would have been much better. Like, there's a scene, I'll call it out real quick, where she's driving a semi-truck that has lost control of its brakes. And it's careening. She's going to have to careen right through this brick wall. And she looks at the wall and she goes, "Suck my dick, all you bastards." And I'm like, okay. Well done, Shane Black. Well done. Whereas
good line. Good line.
It isn't. A simple sigh and a "you've got to be fucking kidding me" would have sufficed. It would have done exactly what you wanted it to do. It would have made it seem like things were out of control, but she was still kind of calm without some weird penile reference. And there was just stuff like that kind of went through it. 90s action movies have no idea what anatomy is. So you've got people taking wounds where Samuel Jackson died at least 3 times in that movie.
Yeah.
He got blown out a window of a second or third story building, like 100 feet through the air, and smashed into a tree, and then stood up and threw a knife into a guy. Just like that's fine.
I've never understood. I've never seen Gina Davis as an action star in the first place. She does not give that at all.
Well, just before this film, she did Cutthroat Island. I'm looking at now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then she did, I guess Thelma Louise wasn't action. That was more
It was
drama.
not. And neither was League of Their Own. Now, what I will say, Gina Davis can do, I think she could do action. I think she could do a Sarah Connor-esque character.
Yeah.
But they try to turn her into almost like John McClane instead of... They should have gone for more Lethal Weapon, less Die Hard. Oh, and by the way, wasn't Shane. Shane wrote it. He didn't direct it. But this director should be slightly ashamed of himself because there are, we'll call them homages to Lethal Weapon and Die Hard all over this motherfucker.
It's not Shane Black. Shane Black doesn't have anything.
He wrote it. He wrote it. But he didn't direct it. He didn't direct it. But and I'm sure he thought he was being clever, but the problem is he did it too many times all over the movie, and I'll just single out one. There is a scene from the first Lethal Weapon where Mel Gibson's character is shooting people in the desert with a sniper rifle, and then a guy comes up behind him with an MP5, puts it to the back of his head, and says, Don't try it, son. You're not that fast. They almost recreate that shot scene. I mean, they almost recreate it down to the detail, except for he doesn't say the lines in this movie. And there's stuff like that for Lethal Weapon and Die Hard all over it. And after a certain point, it stops being homages and starts being ripoff. So it straddles that line, but it doesn't cross it, but it comes goddamn close.
Yes, I'm looking. That's pretty much the only 2 action movies she's done. Is she had Cutthroat Island and Long Kiss Goodnight back to back, and then she went back to Stuart Little. And
that's a shame. So she's in the Exorcist TV show, and she does great in it. She does great.
It was Exorcist TV show.
So the first season is really good. the last episode of that season was kind of rushed. It was like they have 7 episodes and it's like they thought they had 10.
What do you think of Samuel L. Jackson in this? Was it just him being him, or do you think it was written for him, or do you think he just showed up for this role or something?
So yes and no. So also, as I was doing some reading on this was pitched and written as a much darker story. And like apparently Samuel Jackson's character was gang raped when he was in prison and like had all this really horrible
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
Yeah. Like it was just much darker. The comedy was toned down. There was the torture scenes that him and Gina Davis went through were meant to be much more extensive. And so I can A, see why he signed on to that, and B, see where he was going with it if that was allowed to happen. Unfortunately, going to the action tone that they ended up going with, I do think required him to kind of fall back on the Samuel Jackson-esque persona. But there are times, like if his character has a line that he repeats a couple of times, and it's kind of the theme of his character where he says, just let me get this one thing right. And you can see where that would have gone, how his character came to have such poor self-image. So it does tend to fall back on the standard Samuel Jackson, but I think there are nuggets there of what was originally supposed to be. And that's good enough for me. I like it. It was good. I'd watch it again.
So the rating system we're going to use in this one is naughty or nice. So
Sure.
naughty or nice?
I want to ask first, is it a Christmas film? She got her daughter a Christmas present.
I would have to watch it again for further review.
That's honest.
It didn't scream Christmas at you your one time through there.
So I was not thinking of it in that terms. It was the first time I'd ever watched it, and I was doing research, and it was, I would have to give it a real eyes. I'd have to look at it again. I couldn't tell you honestly, and if to guess would be disingenuous for it, and I would lean on no, but I don't. I'd have to watch it again.
Okay, so let's get your naughty or nice rating, and then did anyone else watch this film with you this morning?
Yeah.
Was it Eric and Bailey?
They watched the majority of it.
I watched some of it with him.
Yeah, they
Well,
watched.
let's get your rating, Ben. Then we'll just get some quick thoughts of them. We got a couple of minutes left for you.
Cool. I'll have to give it a nice. In the Land of the Blind, the one-eyed guy is king. Kind of like if this had been late 90s, maybe there would have been maybe better alternatives. Although I'm probably being a little harsh on it, but in today's entertainment world, absolutely, I would watch this again. I enjoyed it. You know what? And I'll touch on one other thing. Gina Davis can be quite sexy when she wants to be.
Oh, definitely.
She can get
Probably
it.
not much anymore, but definitely through that time.
You know what? She did. The Exorcist TV show wasn't all that long ago. She didn't lose much step.
All right. So what did Bailey and Eric think about in the passing watching there?
The Christ allegory is Samuel L.
Oh.
Jackson.
Samuel Jackson's the savior.
Yeah.
I get it.
You see it.
Can't kill me, motherfuckers.
Right.
Listen, if Jesus came out of the tomb like that,
Oh my god.
It'd be a
can't kill me,
whole
motherfuckers.
different religion. Yeah. No, it was good action fun.
Definitely 90s. I know exactly what you mean.
Yep.
I imagine if you say 90s action, it really clicks a lot of people's brain.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that shit.
Well, so the one thing we found was the average shot time the average scene time was like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
For
Just
So
snappy.
so it was snapping all over the fucking place.
It was very
All right.
quick.
All right, Bailey, 10 seconds. Go.
10 seconds. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I freaking love Gina Davis. Like her legs are like miles long and I love them. But Samuel L. Jackson did great. He made me laugh. He made me emotional, especially when he's like, yeah, I did 4 years. And I was like, oh. Like it was awesome. So yeah, I liked it.
All right. So let's just follow the path here. Ben.
I think what we should do though is we should let Urs go. There's some issues. Let's let Urs go.
Who picked for Urs? Urs, can you hear us first? of all?
Can you hear us, Urs? You there?
Everything's really garbled. I can barely hear anything.
Okay.
Well, it's about to be your turn to shine.
I picked Tyler.
No,
I didn't pick Tyler. I drew
No.
Tyler, and I picked Animus.
Animus. Animus is a movie that, for whatever reason, Urs and Butters have been wanting me to watch for close to 10 years now. And for whatever reason, I will never know why they want me to watch this. Since 2013, they have been on my ass to watch this movie. It's called Animus. The best thing with this movie is the one thing I noticed, it's not found footage. but all the characters act like they're in a fucking found footage movie. They're all just like stupid.
boy.
I don't understand what. That's first when I was watching it, I was like, these characters, they all act like fucking found footage fodder. So it's a typical like straight to video horror movie. There's this girl who's in this college course, and there's a old supposedly haunted asylum that for whatever reason, like, hey, let's go and let's make a documentary. And also they're also be college students, but they're like all like obviously like late 30s, early 40s looks like.
So
But
Power
they're college
Rangers.
students.
Power
Sure. Power Rangers were actually the age they were supposed to be. They were only a couple
Not
years older
Tommy.
than they
Don't
supposed
you
to be.
fucking dare say Tommy was a high schooler.
He was a high schooler, but he wasn't that much older. So for whatever
The,
reason,
the law would disagree.
No.
so they decide they're going to go and make this documentary about this asylum, where of course there was some nefarious medical experiments and some poorly shot flashbacks. And one of the things I noticed about this is that it focuses a lot on this little Hispanic kid as being the kind of target of a lot of these things. And I think one of the most shocking experiments they do on him is he goes from being a little Hispanic kid to like an old white guy for some reason. When he's finally revealed at the end, they changed his race or something, or they miscast whoever's be the older him. Because it's like clearly like an old like meth head. It's like an old white homeless guy they found, and they're like, this is the same character, even though like in the flashbacks he's clearly Hispanic, and it's really weird. But it starts out like the one thing I thought was kind of interesting. It started out like it was going to be a paranormal movie, which I hate paranormal movies. I don't believe in ghosts. They bore me. I can't not get into paranormal movies.
Is that why you don't believe in them? Because they bore you?
Possibly. I find I've
That is
not
not a logical
No.
reason.
I've
We're
not
not-
found a paranormal movie.
We're
I'm only interested in interesting things.
Okay, I'm sorry. I interrupted your time.
jeez.
Go start
But
boring.
I have never found a ghost movie where I've watched like, man, that was really. They're always like droning and bore me. So I was like, damn it, Earth fucking picked a ghost movie for me to watch.
There are no Sharknado. I'll grant you
Yeah. Well, that's entertaining, and
Not the first one. The other one.
not the first one. Just skip the first one. Go straight to the last five.
My
You're in for a good ride.
that. My soul dies.
But so I was like, God damn it, Earth picked a fucking ghost movie, which I thought for some reason this was supposed to be an alien movie, but it's not. But I was like, a fucking ghost movie. So I'm watching it, and it does turn into like a slasher movie, which is kind of interesting. They go in this asylum. There's all this creepy shit happening where it's like all doors are slamming and all this shit. And then it's revealed that little Hispanic kid turned into a white guy, and he's killing all the college students. And for some reason, he has like a gigantic thing on his arm, like a gigantic fucking something affixed to his arm. I don't know what you'd call it. It's a
weapon?
It's a killy thing. A killy thing. Yeah, he kills people with it. His
Killy
arm has been
thing.
turned into a stabber. I don't fucking know. He got turned into, so his arm got mutilated into some kind of thing. And they do a lot of gore in this movie toward the end. Like the first, I would say about the first 80% of this movie, god awful.
The first 80%.
First 80%.
80%, which for the movies I watch isn't a bad percentage.
The first 80%.
That leaves the credits.
Yeah, well, a lot of the movies I watch, I'm lucky to get 5% good shit out of it. So. This is above average for what I'm used to.
Well, there we go.
Your poor liver.
So you got about 20%. That's actually pretty decent, and that's an A in my book.
Oh my god.
80% shit. That's an A. Yep.
That's an A.
I had McDonald's today and I felt guilty about it. Gone. All gone.
So like the first 80% of this movie is just, it's god awful. It's like bad dialogue, bad acting, jump scares out the ass. I hate that's a lot of the reason I hate paranormal movies. It's like every paranormal movie is just a bunch of fucking jump scares. I was like, all right, so I made it through that. Then at the end, they fucking reveal the Hispanic kid got turned into a white guy. He was
Hate to see it.
You keep saying this and it makes no sense. I don't understand.
You haven't watched anime. It's a little
No.
Hispanic kid in all the flashbacks. A little Hispanic kid.
Yeah.
And then they reveal like, oh, he's still alive. He's like being kept in the bottom of this asylum. It's a white guy.
Huh.
It's like they completely miscast the races.
Oh,
it's
I see.
super weird. So
Huh.
he got they fucking racially transmorphed him or something in this asylum, and they attached a fucking saw stab thing to his arm. So when he's finally revealed, it does kind of flip a trigger to where they just like take all the gore that they saved on making the first 8% really boring. They saved it all up, so at the end they just fucking cut everybody in guts and blood, rubber body parts, bad
Rubber.
silicone scars, corn syrup. They just fucking throw it all at people. And the last like 20% of it's pretty much like a bloodbath. It's actually pretty entertaining there at that bit. But man, you have to get through some rough shit to get to that. So Ursa, are you happy I finally watched this?
I mean, Butters is, I'm sure.
I knew whenever Urs drew my name, I was like, he's probably going to watch fucking Animus. And I texted him. I was like, so what's my pick for the movie? And he just replied, you know.
Aw.
God damn it. So what about this? So the only reason you picked this is because Butters bugged me about it for 10 years.
Yeah, that's literally the only reason. I haven't watched it in so long, I don't even remember it.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember after the day because it's so fucking forgettable. It's like I watched it and I was like, because like I said, Butters used to like, God rest his soul. He used to message me like on a regular. He got addicted to crack. He used to message me on the regular.
Don't
And,
listen to him.
I never will again after he got addicted to crack. But he used to message me on the regular before he pawned his phone off. He used to message me on the regular.
Do any of this.
He used to message me on the regular to remind me to watch this movie.
I don't even,
He did not get addicted to crack. He did not
Crack,
sell-
meth,
Listen.
whatever, heroin. I don't know, whatever it was.
listeners, I'm just as confused as you are. I have no idea who
And,
Butters is.
And before he pawned his phone off, he would message me all the time, like, "Hey, watch this movie." And
on his phone off.
pawned it. I don't know what. Lost it. Bum fight. I don't know. But
Bum fight.
when he had a phone, he would message me to watch this movie. And I thought, well, clearly there's got to be something spectacular about it. Not one fucking memorable part of this whole movie. It's like this was just a waste of an hour, 20 minutes.
Were you able to
I
able
watched
to
some
watch on
pretty
the
bad
DVD
stuff.
he gave you?
No, I lost that DVD. And I messaged Urs, like, hey, I lost that DVD, but I found a movie called Animus on Prime. Is this it? Because I was under the impression, for a reason, that it was an alien movie, but it wasn't. So I was like, this might not be the right movie.
Maybe
So Urs
that's just what
confirmed it.
Butters told you, so you would watch it.
Maybe
Yeah.
one of his
That sounds like Butters in his
Yeah.
crack addicted ways, apparently.
good ways. And I thought it was an alien movie. It wasn't. So I was like, maybe this isn't the right movie. And Urs let me pick a different movie. But he's like, no, that's the right one. I was like, God damn it! So I had to pay $2.99 to watch this, and I paid $7.99 to own a Tornado, and I'm not that mad about it. But I paid $2.99 to rent Animus
Oh, are you mad, Ty? Are you mad that you had to spend money on shitty movies?
on Animus.
Are you?
I wouldn't say.
didn't have Bruce Campbell in it.
I wouldn't say that was a shitty movie. I'm not saying it's $18 worth, but I'm not saying that's a shitty movie.
That was on you. That was on you, Bailey.
that was on me. That was so much on me.
Yeah, that was on you. But there you go. I watched Animus finally after 10 years of being prodded and dodging it.
Harassed.
Harassed.
I had
Urs
a
finally
crack
found a way.
addicted madman.
You said it, not me. But
Okay.
Urs somehow got me to watch it. He found a way, and I'm sure Butters right now is.
It's the only reason
look at-
Ursa's a
but-
part of all this. So he's playing the long game. He's like, I'll get
Right.
Tyler to watch this shit.
Yeah, he'll come up with a concept dumb enough where I can trick him into making him watch this movie. And Butters is looking down on us, and he's happy. I
He's
imagine.
not dead.
Or up.
He's not
I guess.
dead.
Yes.
What?
Well, no, but he's
You-
probably high, so he's still looking down.
He might be high on marijuana at best.
Yes.
We're lucky.
No.
He's not dead.
No.
Bailey, what'd you pick for Ursa?
I picked the Beautician and the Beast.
Ouch.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Ursa. Sorry,
Oh,
Ursa.
Whoa. Ursa
Oh.
got coal for Christmas.
Why did you pick that for Ursa?
And I got to rate my movie. I
Oh,
rate
Oh,
yeah,
yes. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I
Rate
rate
your
naughty.
movie.
But now you
Oh,
know
yours
what
is
everybody-
naughty.
Now you know what
Naughty,
everybody
yeah.
thinks.
Animus is naughty. Don't,
Animus was
don't,
naughty.
Don't take
Fucking
movie
everyone.
recommendations from people with issues.
So why'd you pick Beautician and the Beast, Bailey?
Because when I was actually like really depressed and whatnot, I would turn on the Beautician and the Beast and it would make me feel better. Like it was one of those feel good movies. And I love, I love Fran
Did it make
Drescher.
you feel good? The fact that your voice isn't like Fran's?
Ah,
That might have been part of it.
It has Fred Dresser in it.
Yeah. I
Oh.
love Fran Dresser. I love her so much. I actually would watch The Nanny in my free time, like The Nanny, The Golden Girls, Andy Griffin was a big one. But yeah, I loved her growing up. So yeah, The Beautician and the Beast was one of my favorite movies. And when I was going through like a really rough time, or like if I was bored or whatever, I'd turn that movie on, and it's just a good feel good movie. So I love that movie.
Well, Ursa, tell us how it made you feel good.
It felt like a prequel to The Nanny.
Oh, that's interesting.
huh. Okay.
I mean, a beautician gets hired as a teacher for kids and then falls in love with the dad. I mean, isn't that basically The Nanny?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't the Beast like a king? No, he wasn't a king. What was he?
Hey, it's
In this
just
movie.
No,
like
he
a
was just a
private-
rich dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just some rich dude. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because she was trying to make the workers unionize and everything. I remember that.
Yeah, where she like stands up on a thing and is like, "You need to fight back," and the guy turns around and I was like, "What the hell is she doing?" Sorry.
Turn over the new leaf for the president, El Presidente. Everybody
turn into a
had a
beast at all?
really,
Is he-
really bad
No.
Eastern European accent, but the oldest daughter. She's like the only one who studied anything about her character, I think.
It wasn't bad.
Otherwise, I mean, it was pretty paint by numbers romantic comedy. I forgot how hot Fran was.
Mike would love
Talk.
this. Mike would love that then.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's a rom-com.
I've watched it before.
Of course.
Frank,
I mean, overall, it wasn't too bad. I kind of liked it. It reminded me of when I was a kid and my mom used to watch that kind of shit all the time.
Aww.
Aw.
See, it made him
Emphasis on
feel
shit.
good.
It was a feel good movie for Ursa.
It was a feel good movie. See, it worked.
Is it your new feel good movie, Urs? Are you gonna put it in whenever you need a little pick me up?
No, my feel good movie doesn't have Fran Dresser in it.
But that harmonious laugh. Is it not music to your ears?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I get it.
can't nail her. Like in real life, where is she from? I can't nail her accent at all. It's like sometimes she sounds like she's from Brooklyn. Other times she sounds like she's from Boston.
I don't want to. I don't want
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Sure, I'll look her
But
up real quick.
definitely
I got
New
it.
York. Definitely New York. It's obnoxious.
Definitely New
enough.
York.
Yeah, it's
Let's
obnoxious.
see.
enough.
I feel like I've heard her say New York before, but I feel like it's also wrong.
Born in New York
if you wanna
City.
see her, if you want to see her get killed, you can see it in Satan Claus. She
Nope.
gets killed by Bill Goldberg.
Yeah, she's New
You guys
York.
wanna
How old?
see it?
She's 65 years old now.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
She still got it?
In the one picture I can see,
Right on.
she's in she's laughing in the picture. Believe it or not. So
Do you
She's
think
always
she'll be in
laughing.
the? Do you think she'll be in the sure to be nanny reboot that's going to come on one of the streaming services any day now?
Don't you put that devilry out there.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
No.
You're right.
It'll happen.
No one's
It'll
asking for it though.
Nobody asks
wants
for a
that.
lot of
You don't
these
have to.
remakes.
You don't have to.
I can't wait to see how they redo Golden Girls with the climate around the "what is a woman" question. That'll be interesting.
Oh, hot take.
That is a really hot take.
That'll be-
I just love watching these lines that our society is trying to walk and just see how it does it. It's like that'll be interesting.
I love it.
Ursa, get us away from this controversy. We're only
Okay,
Go ahead.
So, The Beautician and the Beast, like I said, it's a very paint by numbers romantic comedy, but it had like a wholesome character arc for the king or the president. I don't understand how he calls himself a president if he's actually a dictator. But I mean, that's another thing. Like, I don't understand all these romantic comedies where the women are like all about these like really bad people that they're just going to fix.
Exactly.
get
You
it.
just stated it because we fix
I
them
digress.
Do you fix them? Do you?
most of the time.
Or do they fix you?
No. No.
Yeah. No, this one I'm not touching. I got a little bit. I got a little bit of skin in this game.
It's like the girl dream. Like you have the bad guy that's like only good for you. Like it's the bad boy. Like I don't know how to explain these things, but it's like the bad boy aspect.
But if a man
really
gets
like
a broken woman, he's controlling and a dick.
And that's how you end up with a bastard child.
Why, yes, I do like the bad boys, Mr. Weinstein.
Oh,
I didn't say it always played out in real life. I'm just saying that's what we like to watch movies about. Sometimes. I don't know.
Tell us more, Ursa.
Is
But anyway.
is there a
Yes,
Jesus
anyway.
allegory in it anywhere?
Yeah, Fran's Jesus.
I would say she's more of like the Apostle Paul.
oh, really?
Name dropping. Okay.
Yeah, she comes in and teaches everybody how to be a good person.
Oh, well,
There you go.
well, that's what a lot of these foreign countries need. They need an American to come in and teach them how to.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
save them.
Yeah, give them Christianity and democracy. They'll be fine.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
they'll
the
get it.
Christianity thing was not our fault. We came in afterwards. You can't blame us for that
True.
one. You can fuck off on that.
Well, do you guys?
Is this a '90s movie? Is it a '90s movie? Is that what it is?
I think it's
Yeah, it was
99.
Oh,
very 90s.
okay. Theatrical or some
Felt
kind of
super
made for TV thing?
Super 90s.
You could see her age pretty well in it. So, I mean, it was late 90s.
97.
Was it like a theatrical movie or like a made for TV thing?
Oh, I think it was theatrical.
I don't know, man.
Oh, Mike,
I'm not
this
sure.
Kind of stuff.
Budget was 16 million.
Oh, I believe that.
Sounds TV.
That sounds TV. 16
Yeah, it
million.
does
That's not a
sound
lot.
TV.
It has a box office 11.5 million.
It was a flop either way.
Well, so back then there was pay-per-view.
It didn't do well. Let's just say that it didn't do
No,
well.
it didn't.
No, they didn't warrant a sequel.
Thank
Let me
God.
look at the
But-
writer Todd Graff.
Listen,
But
romantic comedies.
maybe it warrants a 10-part reboot series on the premium streaming service.
I don't want it. Stop it. That's not.
You don't have to want it.
No,
Nobody wants
It's-
it.
it's
Netflix
not-
miniseries.
it's not.
Yeah,
gonna-
Netflix miniseries.
No.
It's not gonna be a reboot. It's gonna be a prequel about how Fran's character was actually an oppressed like guinea pig. Can't be human.
And she used beautician to cope her. I don't
The
know.
fact that she was abused and raped by her horrible
Yeah.
sexist grandfather daddy.
Well, as long as they can
This sounds like
spin it
Disney.
into a cinematic universe, I'm fine with it.
They will. They absolutely will.
Yes.
I'm trying to look up the writers like credits. It looked like The Nanny's the same writer off The Nanny that wrote this.
Ah, that makes sense.
Shock face.
Yes.
Shock Pikachu.
Listen,
They were trying
when,
to get a vehicle for
The final
Frank
piece of the puzzle falls into place.
when you know what you're
Were they
doing.
married?
Yeah, were they married?
Drescher. Were they?
I don't know.
Certainly sounds like he was trying. He liked her in the maid outfit anyway.
I'm just trying to see what else he wrote. I
Listen,
don't
if she would
recognize anything.
not talk,
I knew it. I knew he was
If
gonna
she
say
would
that.
just shut the fuck up.
Oof.
Now looks like the writer's more of an actor.
She's like a
Todd
real,
Graff guy.
she's like a real life Lois Griffin.
Jeez. I did resonate with her quite a bit though, because like I always thought growing up my voice was really annoying, especially like in adulthood. But I'm like, Fran literally made her whole career based around her voice. So bitch, tough it up.
I'm trying to see if this guy wrote it. He's an actor too. He was in The Abyss. I never watched that though.
wasn't
You've never
Abyss.
seen The
wasn't she
Abyss?
a comedian at one point in time?
I think so. I believe you're right.
Allegedly,
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I've never seen her stuff, so I mean, I can't
Me neither.
say that for sure. But
I know that her and her husband claimed to have been abducted by UFOs at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's right.
Really?
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's.
interesting.
I think it was that her and her husband had the same dream, and when they woke up, they had the same exact like incision scar in the same exact spot and whatnot.
I
Yeah.
remember you talking about that.
I think I did a list.
I think you
on
did,
celebrities
too.
who saw aliens.
I think you
once,
did.
and I think that was on it.
Yep. I believe it was.
All right.
Interesting.
Ursa, what is your rating of this? Is it naughty or nice?
I will actually give it a nice, just because of the president's character arc.
Oh, the president's character arc. Did he renounce his dictatorship?
Yes,
He
kinda,
did.
Stop
Kinda.
putting people against the wall.
kinda.
I mean, he like banished the bad guy. So I mean,
Ah.
Close enough.
He got rid of the corrupt person that was working for him and like making all these.
the prime
you know,
minister,
yeah,
Nice.
and then he shaved his Hitler
Which is-
stash.
That's
probably
That's
an elected official. So Probably not renounce his dictatorship, but
So it's kind of like a story of Pretty Woman or something too. Then
Also sounds a little like Aladdin, the corrupt advisor.
yeah. Any parallels or so between those movies we just said?
you guys have to understand, I can barely hear anything you guys ever say.
Oh, we love you still.
Yes.
Everything's super, super garbled.
Oh,
Well, at least we got it. You sound good coming through.
You
So that's-
sound
really
great.
good.
I always sound good coming through.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's right.
Of course, he hears that to be able to deliver that line for sure. I think it's selective hearing ours. Let's be honest.
It's just the technology working in his favor.
I don't believe any of that. That's not what it does.
So Bailey, who did you pick? So you picked it for Urs.
Yeah.
Ursa
Okay.
picked Animus for you.
For you. So yeah, I picked for Mike.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
I picked Wolf Cop. Wolf Cop is one of my one of my favorites. It's a hidden gem. Great fucking movie. Action, horror, comedy. It's got everything you wanted. I love this. I watched when it first came out, and I think when I first watched it, I watched it like immediately afterwards. I watched it again like after I was done with it, and I just fucking love this movie. And not a lot of people have seen it. It's like a cult movie. There's a sequel I've never seen. I'm always wary about sequels to like independent movies because I feel like that gives them a little extra money and they kind of go off the rails with it.
We've seen it happen. We've all witnessed it.
We've seen it happen.
Except with
Yeah,
Sharknado.
Well, no,
Except-
Sharknado utilized the money to make improvements,
Yup.
but it seems like a lot of these other movies decide to like go crazy with it. You know? So
Ursa's like, no, Ursa. Ben's looking at Eric just like, help me. This is don't let anyone support his.
don't dish it till you've seen them.
I didn't say shit. I didn't say
If you watched them, you would be like, wow, those other 5 are superior than the first one.
I will sacrifice having anything to say on it if it means that I don't have to watch those movies.
So is the reason you picked it for me, or you just try and get more people to watch it?
I figured it'd be something you would enjoy because I know the kind of movies you like, and you know, despite what people may say, I have a pretty good taste in movies. So I was like, this is something that I think Mike would enjoy. So I decided if I was ever gonna get you to watch Wolf Cop, this was the chance to do it. So everyone else I've never shown it to anyone, and they've been like, oh, what was that? Every time I showed someone, they're like, that was fucking awesome because it's a great movie. It's a fun action comedy. It's awesome. But yeah, that's why I chose it for you, Michael. And of course, because you're always in need of a little culture.
Little
A little culture.
Little
So
culture.
here you go. Here's your yearly dose of Christmas culture. Michael, Wolf Cop.
Wolf Cop. I want you guys to guess. What is this movie about?
Werewolf police officer.
Couldn't it just be about a cop and his canine unit that happens to be a
That's
wolf?
Turner and Hooch. That's not this film.
It's not a wolf. That's a mastiff. You be
But you're trying to explain that plot is what you were doing. They're
That's
trying to
what-
save this.
That's what I was hoping for.
But no, this was a fun watch. I ain't gonna lie. I did have fun watching this. Everything was done practically. That was like something the writer and director set out for when he made this. And this was made over in Saskatchewan and surrounding areas.
Yeah,
the
it's a
second
Canadian flick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the second film in the area. So we open up. The guy is not natively a werewolf cop. He's just basically the loser of this town. He's like he's a cop for the police force, and he wakes up late for work. And how the movie opens. Well, first of all, the opening credits is something super intense to begin with. Just rock and roll music going on, so a bunch of satanic signs going on, some witchery stuff going on.
Sounds intense.
I looked away, and Anna's like, "No, you gotta rewind that so you don't miss this beginning." I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And as soon as I started watching, like, "Well, fuck, no, you're right. You can't miss this beginning. Even it's just super intense and in your face to start." But the guy is basically this guy. He's a super loser of the town. He's a sheriff. Like he wakes up late for work. He gets late. You know, Ben, you'd love this. He's walking out and he's trying to get his like gun holster on, and the gun falls out of his holster under his car while he's trying to put it on.
Is he
Gets
drunk?
down.
Yeah,
he's
drunk,
hungover more than anything at this moment.
He's a drunk. Is like his like thing too. He's an alcoholic.
Yeah, so he starts driving to the police station, his cop car in his uniform, and he's drinking while he's driving. He's passing people breaking the law, and they're just like, whatever, because he never does shit to, he's just which, Tyler, did they ever get into like why he's that way, or is he just that way? I never.
Shit. He just speaks shit.
I was kind of waiting for it because then he was also at a certain point in the film. He's like, I haven't shot my gun in years. Like, Oh, well, that would make sense if you accidentally killed someone or something.
I think there's like, if you like watch, there's like implications of like something happened in his past, but for the most part, he's just a piece of shit.
You have to watch the second one to find out.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, he's just super hungover. But to cure the hangover, you got to drink more alcohol to get rid of the hangover. That's how
A
it
little
works.
Hair of the dog. Yeah.
Hair of the dog.
Yep, hair.
I have never done that. I couldn't.
I've never done it either.
I've never brought myself.
When I wake up hungover, the last thing I want is more.
Exactly.
Oh man, no! You get you a nice mimosa or a Bloody Mary for breakfast.
With bacon.
Hell, you could if you wanted. There's no reason not to add bacon.
But don't you like it's hair of the dog and werewolf cop?
Yeah.
What?
So yeah, just super loser and everything. And what's the event, Tyler? It's like the shooting hunt. There's a shooting hunt coming up. Everyone in the town gets drunk and goes out hunting with their guns. It's like
the shot and shoot or something. I think it's
shot and shoot. Or something.
Yeah.
So that's like the big event coming up in this town. And
what about the town's like main business? It's liquor donuts. It's just an alcohol / donut shop. That's all it is. It's
not a terrible
liquor and
idea.
donuts. No, it's pretty good.
Don't
It makes
you
me want
feed
liquor and
into this.
donuts.
Listen, I'm not saying that cops should hang out there, but at least they have
Right.
something to eat.
So, and then basically there's a lot of like animals gone missing and everything, and people are believing it's either some people believe it's like kids kidnapping them for witchcraft or Satan worship, or some people think it's some rabid animal running around killing them. It's just different thoughts about all these missing animals and everything. But how he gets turned into a werewolf cop, he goes on this call, I believe, out to the woods, finds some man hanging upside down, and investigating, he gets knocked out, and he just wakes up the next morning, and he has like all the super senses going on. It's like, okay, he's a wolf now.
It's like a satanic ritual. It turns him into a wolf. It's not. Like
we don't really see it. We see like glimpses of it. They're like flashing back of like what happened to him, because he like has a shirt off. He has like the pentagram like carved into his chest and stuff. And we'll get into it later. Because that was my question to the whole film. Was like, why and who turned him into a werewolf? Why
Right.
do this? And
Which I will say that's the one part I didn't like about the movie. I hate that part, but I think they rectify it in the sequel from what I've seen in the trailers.
But he's turned into a werewolf after this, and he becomes a good cop for whatever reason. Just
So
He's got
super
heightened senses. Yeah,
he's heightened senses. He shaved his beard off a little bit. He's actually doing work. The girl at the bar, even that girl at the bar, Jesus.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
What about his friend? His friend is what I like. Well, that's my favorite part of the movie.
his sidekick friend who
Yeah, his sidekick. That's also the main problem I have with the movie is the sidekick. It's my favorite part, my least favorite part about it.
Oh yeah, I'll just spoil it. He turns out to be a bad guy.
Yeah, it sucks because he's such a likable, fun.
He really is.
sidekick.
Yeah.
He makes the movie like he's like the comic relief in a comedy movie, but like he's so good. And then at the end, they're like do this little like twist where he's the villain. I hated that,
Right.
but it does make sense because he does kind of act as Wolf Cop's handler for most of the movie.
Right. So let's just get into some highlights. And you got the basic premise at the moment. He's a guy, becomes wolf. He's a wolf cop. First transformation I need to talk about because he goes to the bathroom in the bar. He's at the bar hanging out, and he has to go to the restroom, and the girl's like waiting for him upstairs, the bartender, because she closed down early for everyone to leave because she wanted to go hang out with him. And he goes and he's peeing at the urinal, and he starts like, grunting everything because he's starting to like change. And we get this close up on this transformation starts at his penis. So you see his penis explode open into werewolf penis.
Oh my!
And then the rest of
God.
the transformation starts happening.
What?
And because this movie is done in complete practical, it just hurts to watch anything that happens in this film.
Oh, wait. Is this the kind of transformation where you emerge from your skin?
Yeah.
You're like ripping your skin off. Yeah. Which they did good on that too, like ripping of the skin and it coming off and everything. They did because they show it all. That's the thing. They don't hide the transformation at all, really. They even show it more because his next couple of transformations, they show even more. So they don't hide just camera away, and then bring it back and he's a werewolf. Like, no, they put some real work into like him shedding the skin off and everything and it coming off. He ripping, his own face coming off and everything.
Yeah, because they do find like after this, they find his face and they like
Yeah.
They make like a point of like, this looks a lot like you. Like they find like just a skin face in the bathroom after he.
Oh
Fuck.
man.
I like that when he was Wolf Cop, he goes into this, crashes it because he's basically patrolling the night as a wolf cop. the sidekick friend, he's like, you can't go out there, you're a wolf. He's like, cop. And he just goes,
Oh,
my
Jesus.
God.
and he customizes his cruiser, which I love that part. There's like a montage where he just customizes his cruiser, like
As
he's-
the wolf?
as the wolf.
he just decides like, I'm customizing my cruiser, so he customizes it with like a big W with flames shooting out of it and shit. And it's for some reason he takes the top of the siren and turns it sideways, which I like for some reason. So he's going down the road, it's like elongated. I don't know. He just randomly customizes his cruiser like for no fucking reason.
But he's
It's
just
a montage.
he is just killing crime on this night, and he takes out and kills 2 of the 3 guys that were like doing these robberies around town.
Who are all dressed as pigs.
Who's all dressed as pigs.
It's
Oh
a gang
my
that dresses pigs.
God, the 3 little fucking pigs.
Yeah, they call themselves like the Warthogs or something like that, or some shit. They have a gang name, but yeah, they're pigs.
Then he sniffs out this meth lab that's in a bar, and a barn, and he goes there and smashes his car. And one of the first things he does, he grabs a guy and just grabs his face and rips the face off.
Whoa.
Throws it. And the
Practical,
guy,
too.
it's all practical. You see the guy's like skull just scream like just a skull face where his face was ripped off.
Wow.
It's a fun movie.
It
It's
sounds
a fun
like a
flick.
movie that you would
Aw.
like, Tyler.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
Great.
It definitely was fun.
Badass. That's what it looks like too.
But basically,
Cop.
to wrap up, he was turned into a werewolf because these 3 people, his friend, was she the mayor of the town?
Yeah.
And then the guy as the sheriff of the department, they're all 3 shapeshifter witches or whatever they are. And they changed him to a werewolf because they have to drink the blood of a werewolf on the eclipse to be able to age longer. So they're like 200 years old or something. So they have to drink the blood of a werewolf. And for some reason, he was stronger than any other werewolf they had before. So he was able to defeat them and everything.
Okay. Wow.
Y'all did a werewolf's lore episode. Was there anything like that in your
left
lore?
out this.
You left out.
We did. Tyler let us.
There's always room for a part 2.
There is.
Oh, don't.
I think you should watch
I
this.
mean, I want to do a part 2.
Ben would
but
like
there's
it.
no
Ben
reason.
would like
No,
it.
I think you guys really would like it. If not for the story, definitely for just seeing the practical effects and everything that they did in this film.
It's a badass action movie. It's an action movie where the hero just happens to be a werewolf.
Knowing what I'm walking into, I can probably get myself to a mental place where I can enjoy that movie.
Edibles.
Yeah, I watched it sober. As I do most things.
I've watched it sober every time.
but this was definitely a nice rating. Not naughty at all. It was a nice rating.
Wow. Cool.
And that's the second movie Tyler's brought. Maniac Cop 2, Wolf Cop. You guys gotta get on board with these Tyler flicks.
I know my cop movies.
Listen, I know we're a cult and everything, but my mind is my own.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind sitting down and watching Wolf Cop just for the practical.
It's on Tubi.
It's on
I
Tubi.
forgot to mention that. Oh, damn it. Because the bartender, she's one of the shape-shifting witches, and she's also the mayor of the town also. While he's locked in prison with her, there is this very long, elaborate sex scene while he's a werewolf with her.
Never mind.
Wow.
It was super long and elaborate. I didn't want you to go in unprepared if that was what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
That's thank you.
They show her boobs, and he's like grabbing her boobs with his wolf paw with the hands and everything. I was like, are they really going to drag this out? And sure enough, they dragged that shit out. I was like, maybe they'll just do a quick little thing. Like, nope,
What
we get
big
full frontal,
boobs
different
you
positions. It's like it's not like NC-17 like softcore porn or anything, but
there's
it's
no
definitely
wolf
like
dick.
There's
yeah. You don't see the wolf dick in this scenario.
You saw it when it split out of the human dick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was very glad to wait for this version of him to have sex with because she definitely liked it more. She said, "Whatever."
what the fuck? Wow.
Okay.
I like it more when you're an animal. What's that supposed to mean? Wow.
They just went there as a
They
movie.
just did. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So the
Good
two
flick.
things you'd have to get past is the exploding transformation of the wolf penis, and then that long sex scene.
Okay.
And I say it was long. It was. I don't know what to compare it to. You ever watch Desperado? I guess.
no.
Yes.
About as long as that sex scene they did. Like
So more popular film, that would probably be like Terminator, the first Terminator.
There you
Yeah,
That sex
yeah,
scene was
yeah. There's a pretty long one in that
was
one.
pretty long.
So about that kind of length of time and about that kind of showing, essentially.
So I've
But
got
it
Mike
just he's a werewolf and
endorsing-
she's a human.
I've got Mike now endorsing my picks for movies. You heard it here. Get on
Right.
these Tyler picks, he said. So
Ooh, 2 out of
Google
2.
gobble, one of us.
Well, I just enjoy some.
Holding the
I can't
case
do it
up
all.
for
I
us
can't
to
do all
see.
of everything that Tyler watches, but I do enjoy the trash
Yeah.
cinema here. And they're like, Birdemic, you can't. That's a fun time to watch Birdemic.
that's a fun movie. I love that movie.
All right.
No, for all the
And-
wrong reasons.
And the room, you can't. That's just.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Have you ever actually watched it?
Fuck no.
Oh, you should watch it.
I
Oh
should
my
watch
god,
it. It's better when you
the
watch
clips
it.
you have
seen
seen, it is much
Cannot
worse than the
prepare
clips
you.
you have. Yeah,
Anything you've seen of The Room in passing cannot prepare you for that movie.
That's
It's-
what I figured.
there's so much more in it that's like, what the fuck is going on? Characters changing actors mid scene.
Oh.
Characters get introduced for a scene where they're important and never mentioned. It's,
what?
anything you think you know about The Room, you don't until you've actually don't watch that movie.
Because
It
I'm
is-
sure you've seen even just the clip, like "Oh hi Mark," where he comes down the roof.
Of course.
That's just how that starts. He don't come from anywhere. We come from a completely different scene, not about
Yeah.
him. He just comes
And
on
the
a roof.
and the fucking scene itself is like the rest of the scene is crazy, where he's telling his friend about some girl getting sexually assaulted, and it's a joke. He laughs about it. The guy tells him a serious story about his friend getting sexually assaulted, and he ends with, "That's hilarious." It just goes. It just keeps going. It's like, what the fuck is happening in this?
Terrible writing, terrible acting, terrible.
They had like this
directing.
football throwing around scene. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
In tuxedos for no reason.
for no reason. Huh?
You need to,
Wow.
yeah.
No.
Whatever you've seen in passing does not prepare you for that film.
It does.
Let's
That's
crack
because
some
I
beers
do
and
not
watch
plan
The
on
Room
actually
sometime.
watching this movie.
Let's crack some beers and watch
are
The
the
Room.
only
That'd
thing
be
it's
fun.
good for.
I'll watch that with you guys. Birdemic and The Room. I'll watch that with anyone.
Oh my
That's
The Room. I mean, the Birdemic. God damn, that movie is so fun to watch.
Birdemic's even more fun with the riff tracks from the guys from Mystery
Yeah.
Science Theater.
So who's next? Who we going to next? We got Ben went, Urs went, Mike went, I went, Bailey.
Yeah.
You want to go?
Who picked for Bailey?
I picked for Bailey.
What'd you pick for Bailey?
For Bailey, I picked Children of Men. I picked Children of Men because we have a shared filming experience of creating single takes, long shots without any cuts, apparently. That build.
I
a
really
scene
wanted you to
and
pick
tension and
Porky's for
stuff.
her. I don't know why.
That's waiting in the wings for another traumatizing.
Oh,
So,
If we do this again next year, we're going to rig it till I could pull Bailey's name.
So Children of Men was like the movie where I was like, oh, you can do some really, really long camera takes and it's super cool. And I love those. And this is the movie that kind of showed me what was up with those.
Mhm.
So yeah, what'd you think?
Go, Bailey.
I loved it, first of all. So at one point I had to look over at him and be like, fuck you for making me this emotional right now. Like, I was not prepared because I didn't look anything up on the movie before I watched it. But
Right.
the world has stopped having babies. Like there's like no one is fertile anymore, like between men and women. Like there's no more babies. And the youngest person alive is like 18. They just die. It moves on to another person and the world is just going fucking nuts. The borders are shut down. There's all kinds of like, Uber police power and whatnot. And I mean, it's freaking scary. Like people go after each other and whatnot. Like there was a couple times where I had to look at it and be like, did I miss a scene or whatnot? Because like and that's because like it happens just all so fast. But also with the one takes and whatnot, you get a lot of the whipping around of the camera. And Children of Men, is it Children or Child of Man?
Children
Children of Men. Okay. And Children of Men, you really don't see that a whole lot, but when you do, like you can physically feel it. Like most of the time they have very gliding shots. I'll have to go back and watch the shots more often because honestly, I was just so enthralled with the storyline.
It's definitely a movie that you have to watch more than once to kind of pick up everything.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
still seeing like details in there that I hadn't before.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I really liked Jasper. He was pretty awesome.
Michael Caine always kills it.
I love Michael
yeah.
Caine. That was my favorite version of Michael Caine I've ever seen. And he said something that I had to laugh about ganja not being legal. I'll let you guys look that up yourselves, but it was pretty funny. I had to laugh. And it's actually pretty funny also because this is the second Christmas pick that we had Michael Caine in that both got to be watched in the Frost House. I loved it.
What more do you want to say? That was only 2 minutes, Bailey. Wow.
I can talk
Man, that-
really fast.
So, what do you?
I've
think?
never seen it, so
It's got,
It's awesome.
it's got a couple of like it has a ton of one takes, but it has like a couple like ones that are like
Really long.
notable and really long. What do you think about the one in the car? And do you have any ideas on how they pulled that off? She hasn't seen any of the behind the scenes stuff yet. I just want to kind of pick your brain. Like, what do you? Even if you can't, you don't know how they did it.
So that's the
Like,
one
what
where
do
he
you
has to
think
get
about
out
that
and
scene?
push, right?
It's part of it.
I'm thinking about the car one before that. Actually, that's a better question. Is what was your favorite long take in the movie?
The one in the car where Julian was in the passenger seat, where she gets shot. Not because she gets shot, because there's this amazing long take of them inside the car and they're swerving around between back seat and front seat, and they're actually able to go and like look at this person in the passenger seat and also look at, Jasper, who's in the back passenger seat. And it's just really intense and really cool. That, and ever since I saw A Quiet Place 2.
I might have seen like clips from behind the scenes. Is this like where
Yeah, I don't think
the
I've
camera's
ever
like in the car, like
Yep.
pivoting essentially? And you see everyone. There's people chasing them and shit.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a pretty intense how they did that. If you can, if you care, Bailey, you definitely find behind the scenes footage of what that looked like. It was, boy, what a choreographed act that was.
Oh yeah.
I've wanted to do a long take in a moving car since I saw A Quiet Place 2, where they did it with Emily Blunt driving, and it was really that was really intense and really cool. And like, there's just something about like you're in a small confined space and doing all of that. It's really interesting. That was probably my favorite long take. But the reason this movie is because Key, we talked a little bit about Jasper, who is our main character, who's very like, I'm just living everyday life.
No, that's not Jasper. That's
Theo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where am I pulling Jasper from?
Jasper was Michael Caine's.
Jasper was.
That's
Yeah,
where I'm pulling
yeah.
Jasper from. Okay. Yeah. Theo is the Michael Caine character, but
Jasper is.
Jasper. Oh my God.
We got you all mixed up
It's
now.
so late now. There hasn't been a pregnancy in 18 years.
Yeah.
18 years. So they come across this girl that is trying to get across the different borders, which is very difficult because the different borders are currently shut down. So they're pretty much sneaking her across everywhere. But the special thing about this girl is she's pregnant. First pregnancy in 18 years. I thought it
Are
was
they
really.
trying to kill her?
I mean, they don't. They go into like a few different theories on what could happen to her because she's a refugee. They kept saying that they would take her baby and place it with another family.
Yeah, like it could get really political with her very fast, and she only had like one option that wasn't like highly political or dangerous.
Yeah. And it was this group called the Human Project, and it's very hard to get a hold of them. It's we contact you, you don't contact us, and it's at this specific time on this specific day. And if you're even 1 second late, we're leaving you.
Wow.
Oh fuck.
So the stakes are high,
Yeah.
and they already find out that one safe group that they're with, dies, and then the next safe group that she's with, the other one, they're trying to kill her because they just want to take the baby and use it for peace. And like their kind of peace and whatnot. And I'm giving the like million foot view of it. And it's very intense. It's very intense. The scene that has stuck with me the most though, when they take the nurse off the bus as Key's starting to have contractions and Key's trying to like save her and whatnot, because the guard comes up and is like, what's wrong with her? And her nurse is very religious, and her nurse was actually a midwife that when all of this started happening, they kind of all of the nurse friends looked at one another and were like, do you have any new pregnancies? And they're like, no new pregnancies. And this just kept happening until the maternity ward was just empty and she didn't have a job anymore. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That sounds like you enjoyed it.
I did. I got very much into it.
So what's your rating?
It's a nice.
It's a nice. You did good, Eric.
Nice.
Did I use up all my time?
Good.
No, you still got 3 minutes left. Do you want to keep going?
I don't know. I loved it. Did we ever get to find? She named the baby after Theo's baby too, which is very sweet.
Yep.
It was very, very
They
sweet.
landed on at the end, because Theo had lost a baby in his backstory, and so she had finally settled on a good name, and it was his baby's name.
Yeah,
Aw.
Yeah.
it was a very good name. But back to the point, in case I almost forgot about it. But anyway, the part that stuck with me the most was when the nurse came out of the bus and they put the hood over top of her head, and then the bus just kept driving, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is happening? Like, they were just like, Gotta get rid of this one. Bye-bye. Like, I mean, I know that it has deeper meaning than that, but that's definitely kind of what it felt like there in a second.
Like, just haunting. That,
Yeah.
I wondered what you would think about that. It's just like, yep, nope, she's gone. And then as the bus is driving away, you just see all the people with bags over their heads, all lined up on their knees.
Like
That
I
was a pretty
said,
haunting one. Yeah.
I was
I think
not.
I'll have to watch this movie.
It's really good. I knew it was going to be good. I knew I was probably going to enjoy it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it this much. I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Right
Where are we able to watch it?
You had to rent it on Amazon.
It may be on YouTube also.
It
They
is
seem to run-
possible.
Probably.
It is
It
possible.
is an old
What else you
movie,
got, Bailey?
Yeah.
Oh,
Michael Caine's God.
Theo doesn't get to see if Key actually makes it to the human project or not. He's shot while trying to get Key out and get her and her baby away because she has the baby like when they're at like one of the most dangerous points. Theo is able to get her away and get her out to this meeting place, which is out by a buoy. And then Theo is like, hold her close, protect her. And then he dies. And then Key is out in the middle of the ocean on a boat with a baby and a dead man.
Oh, that sounds like a comedy all of a sudden, really.
Yeah. Glad it picks up toward the end.
Yeah.
The first 80% shit. What?
Yeah, no kidding.
That last little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I was so
Not bad
emotional.
ratio.
And then we see the human project that is named the Tomorrow pulling up, getting ready to save Key and her baby. And then it cuts to the credits. And I was not emotionally prepared for that. Nobody warned me. But it was fabulous.
Give you any heads up on this?
No,
movie,
no,
that's
that's
for
all
sure.
right.
I mean, how could you? I mean, if you text Bailey, have a great day, she might cry. So.
That's not true. That's only
I'll
on-
text you tomorrow morning. We'll see how it goes. We'll just have a great day, Bailey. You guys need to let me know if she cries.
Fair enough.
Will do.
Depends on what kind of morning I'm having.
So that is Bailey's time. Now we are on
Right.
Ben. You
Right.
picked for
I picked
Eric.
for Eric. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I picked Secondhand Lions.
Yeah.
Oh boy, buckle in for this one.
What? It's a phenomenal movie.
Oh no, it's a
It
great,
sure is.
it's a great
film.
movie. I'm sure Eric's got a lot of stuff to pull out of this one.
Wow.
Well,
Matter of
there-
fact,
I mean,
Matter of fact, I'll help you, Ben. Ben Bailey, I know it's usually shower time. Just tee him up. Go take a shower. He'll still be going by the time you get back.
no. So I picked this movie because I have a love of adventure films. It started with Indiana Jones, as I think most people that love these films. I loved it. I loved the new Jumanjis. I love the old one, of course, but the new ones, I actually really dug those. Jungle Cruise, which is another rock one, I really dug it. And Secondhand Lions has a lot of that kind of element to it. So I thought
As Tyler says, Rock can't do any wrong.
It's one of the
Oh,
certainties of life.
Black
Rock
Black
can't make a
Adam
bad
would
movie.
Black Adam would strongly disagree.
I don't know.
The box office
I
is
don't
not.
So you picked it for Eric because this is also all of his favorite things.
Well, I thought he would be able to appreciate. It's a story that's got a lot to say, I think, and he's the type of person I appreciate that.
Ben and Bailey leave, go take showers, they come back, and Eric's comes off. So that was the opening credits. So
I'll try to rein it in.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
So Second
go
Hand
ahead.
Lions. This was believe it or not, this was really my first time seeing it all through. I'd seen
I'm
few
shocked with
scenes
that.
here
I'm
and
shocked.
there.
I was too.
So
As soon as I
bad.
heard that, I was
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit!
He's
Really?"
like, well, you have to see this movie. And I'll give a shout out to the director / writer because he did great. Tim McKinley's. He also did The Iron Giant, which makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah,
does.
very like adventure but heartfelt and kind
Got
of makes
those-
you want to cry.
Got those warm moments in it.
Yeah. So he did a great job. Starring the three main stars, Haley Joel Osment as Walter Caldwell, who is a young boy. What was he about? He's just on the cusp of like becoming a man, which is kind of part of what his character is.
Yeah, 12, 13, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And he gets dropped at the doorstep of his two uncles, Hub McCann, played by Robert Duvall, and Garth McCann, played by Michael Caine.
And I think these are my two favorite roles for both of these gentlemen.
Yeah, they were great. The acting in this was great, and these two stole the show out of like some phenomenal acting. Michael Caine, it was really interesting seeing him without his British accent because they're okay. I guess they're both living out on a farm, pretty remote, and they're just two seemingly just crotchety old men that want to live out in the middle of nowhere, and they've got a little pack of dogs
And a pig
and a pig.
for
Can't-
a while.
Can't forget about the pig because I'll touch on that. Halfway through this movie, the pig is just suddenly gone. And they tell you why early on in the movie, before the pig is gone, where the pig and a chicken are looking in the window as the characters are eating eggs and bacon. And it's like, oh, there they went. And then later on, the pig's just gone. And it's like they ate the pig. I know they ate the pig.
They eat the piggy.
But anyway, Walter, Haley Joel Osment, is dropped off by his mother at their doorstep. They weren't expecting him. I don't believe they had any heads up because they don't have a phone in the house. So they
don't
didn't know
have
they were
anything.
coming. Yeah, she's just like, oh, they'll take you in and I'm going to go find work elsewhere. And just comes up with excuses. It turns out nothing she really told him was kind of the truth I pick up on. And I don't even think he'd met these uncles of his before.
No.
It may as well have been strangers. And they're pretty gruff with him. They just kind of like, they are very reluctant taking him on, and his mom just takes off and leaves him in this really awkward situation. And they just get him a room up in the attic, and this is going to be just a weird life for him now. And as Walter settles in, he quickly realizes that these two old men are kind of insane. It seems they're sitting out on their front porch with their shotguns, and he's wondering what the heck they're doing there. And he's sitting out on a porch with them, and a car rolls up, the first of many, and it's a salesman. And as soon as he steps out of the
This
car,
takes place in like the 1920s.
yeah, that is an important point. It's set in an older time, 1920s. You said,
Hey,
Something
20s,
like that.
40s, somewhere.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
I'd say it's like 40s or something.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
40s.
and as soon as the salesman gets out of his car, off go the shotguns. They're just firing up in the air and scare him off. Another thing to note here is these two old men are rumored to have a hidden treasure that they had disappeared for decades and came back, and now they've got this rumored wealth to them. And so all these salesmen, it turns out, have gotten wind of that, and they're coming along trying to sell them things and make as much money off them as they can. And they keep getting run off by these two crotchety old men
With shotguns.
with shotguns that immediately
the
start
60s,
firing.
1962.
Oh,
1960s.
60s. Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's way further forward.
But as time goes on, Walter finds a picture of a beautiful young woman up in the attic going through their things one night. And this starts him talking, they're starting to soften towards him anyway. And this starts him talking with Michael Caine's character, Garth, about this old woman. He's got, not old woman, beautiful woman. And he's got questions, and he starts telling him this story that it's like an adventure story almost, a very, very, very epic kind of Indiana Jones-ish, kind of Arabian Nights-ish. And the main character is does he reveal right off the bat that it's
Because
them?
it's when Hub is sleepwalking.
Yes. Oh, that's right. So we do discover that Hub, Robert Duvall's character, he sleepwalks at night, and he's like going through a sword fight with these imaginary dream people, and this kid's like, what in the fuck? And McCain's like Michael Caine, not McCain. Oh my God. McCann. I could have said McCann and gotten away with it because that's their last name.
It is.
He's like, don't
John
touch him.
McCain's
Don't
in
wake him up. McCann.
Yeah, one of his few acting roles.
He's going after Corn Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we start hearing the story of these two gentlemen's adventures where they disappeared to, and it's kind of left up to you whether or not you believe it, or up to the kid whether you believe it, because it does seem to stretch the bounds of
Credulity.
Yeah. And through the course of these adventures, Hub's younger self meets this beautiful woman who's betrothed to an evil sheik, perhaps, or a rich, sheik who he rescues her from. And they go off, there's a lot of adventures. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to focus as much on the stories that are told because they kind of develop over time too. And I'm much more interested in what happened in the present day, which may not have been the case if I watched this movie when it came out when I was a kid. I probably would have really liked the adventure stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the part of this story that does kind of hit home with me because I'm sure I've mentioned before, I lived as a younger man with my grandparents for a time, and hearing their stories of their past and these crazy stories that they have where it's like, okay, maybe you're embellishing a little bit, not to this extent, But it, it's a great bonding time, and that does help in the bonding that all these characters have. You can tell that having this kid here is kind of bringing these old men back to life and out of their retired stupor. And he starts convincing them to start buying more, to spend their money on some things that they'll enjoy. After one of the funnier scenes,
the MVP of the movie.
You know what I'm talking about? This salesman, he comes back. You can tell that he came back because as soon as he stops the car, he hops out and starts waving a white handkerchief of surrender, like, don't shoot, don't shoot. Gets their interest a little bit. It's like, wow, this one came back. What's up with that? Why do you do that? It's because he brought them, a
skeet launcher.
Skeet launcher is what you call it for their shotguns. He's like, he puts it together. He's smart. This movie rewards intelligence, the intelligence of their characters. He's like, they like shooting guns. I got the right thing for them. He's like the epitome of
He even brings his own shotgun.
Yep. Yeah.
To
that's right.
demonstrate it.
Yeah. Fires it off and shoots the target out of the sky with his own shotgun that he just whips out of the trunk. So it's like he must have practiced that move. That's how you be a salesman, people. If you want to sell something, you have to understand them, what they want. That guy earned that sale. He did.
He made a lot of money off
He
this.
sure did. And so they start buying more things that they think will be fun. And eventually that includes a lion that they're going to shoot. They buy a lion off of a circus. And as soon as they crack open the crate that the lion comes up in, they've got their guns ready to go. And it just lays there. It doesn't come out. They're like, well, what the hell? Where's the sport in this? And Walter, the kid, is kind of like, well, can I keep him? Keep her. It's a female lion. And they're like, sure, whatever, feed him stuff. So
fan it up and then we'll kill it.
Yep. Yeah. And so he gets to keep the lion. And another detail is they bought a bunch of vegetables off of these salespeople, but it turns out to be kind of a scam. They get a bunch of corn, but they plant it, and it ends up being the jungle, the surrogate jungle for this lion when it escapes at some point and goes off into the corn and just kind of makes itself at home there. It gets to feel a little bit more like it's in the jungle. And that's kind of what Walter's doing for these two old men is, they're starting to feel more of their adventurous times. I guess that was from him. He convinced them to start spending their money on stuff like that. Yep. And so he starts kind of bringing that old lion out in them, as as the stories and the characters unfold.
30 seconds, Eric.
Oh my God. Okay. So, all right, we'll tie the climax together then with what happens to the lion. The boy ends up in some trouble with an evil, bad stranger who's after the money, and the lion comes charging out of her cornfield and attacks the man, saves the boy, and the lion dies of a heart attack because she's old, tired out, and that is kind of the theme of the movie because these two men
going out with your boots on.
Out with your boots on. That was the line. Thank you. Going out doing what you were made to do, just because you're secondhand doesn't mean you aren't useful still. And so these two guys, after they decide through the course of the movie to take this kid on, raise him right as best they can. And once he's grown into a man of his own, they take a plane out and they start doing tricks in it until they make a mistake at high velocity, and they go out. They go out with their boots on.
They die trying to fly upside down through a barn.
So I loved that. This was an old circus lion, and these two were old adventurers, and they both got to go out feeling that way. And you find out that there's some credibility to these stories because not long after their death, older Walter, finds the son of the sheik who told stories about these two old men, in their younger days too. And he was like, so they really lived, huh? He was like, yeah, they really lived. So you kind of find out that there's some credibility to these stories. It's a beautiful.
The only two men to ever have smarted me.
Yes, that was it.
I love that movie.
It was great. There was so much that I'm leaving out because I spent so much time recapping some of the plot, and I say some of it because that wasn't all of it. This was a good one. Thank you very much.
We knew we signed up for as soon as we heard secondhand lines and you were reviewing it.
Oh, this movie deserves an episode all it said. There's a lot to unpack with this fucking movie.
I would love to do that. That'd be great.
It's a great flick.
Yeah, the themes of what your usefulness is and to who and how that changes and
Not being past your glories, but not relying on them either.
right. Yeah.
No.
And
Yeah, there's
passing lessons on to the newer generations and how to do that effectively.
Yeah, that was one
Yeah.
thing that you said when you were watching it that really stuck home to me. Eric just looks at me, he goes, "It's all about teaching." I'm like,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is, which is what makes it such a pleasant movie. I
Right.
think.
No, great movie.
So
I
not
haven't done it
naughty, huh?
justice. Definitely not naughty. No, nice as it can be. Get this thing a bicycle. This movie was great.
Aw.
Yeah, it was wonderful. No, great movie. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I spent so much of my life having not watched it, but I'm glad that you
yeah,
introduced it to
absolutely.
me.
Me
This
too.
was
I'm
fantastic.
So out of all these movies, only one naughty. in the
Only
whole
one
thing,
naughty.
right?
Only
So
one.
what's wrong with you, Ty? The problem is you, not the film picks.
Yeah, you guys spend $2.99 to watch Animus. I'll see what.
I'm not even going to find out.
I'll let you use my account. You can buy it yourself and watch it. Use my money, and you'll still feel disappointed. You'll still feel ripped off.
You still felt you spent too much somehow.
Yeah. An hour and 20 minutes. I've
You
seen
don't
some
get
shit.
that back.
Yeah, I've seen some shit.
Wow.
I've seen some shit.
I've seen some shit.
And this was a little much for me.
Oh my god!
But man,
I like-
there you have it. That was the very first Christmas gift exchange at Palooza. What'd you guys think of this?
This was fun. This was great. I think this is a good idea for us to share
I'm
what
looking
we love.
I'm looking forward to doing this next year.
Me too.
I think this should be our new annual tradition.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we all got to make a pact that no matter what, Bailey gets Porkies.
Aw.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's not
Bailey's watching
fair.
Porky's next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not fair though.
boy, that movie.
Well, Bailey, if you want me to pick something
So-
else besides Porky's, you
No.
really don't want to watch what else I would pick.
So if she gets Porkies, I say we give her 20 minutes. 'Cause that's gonna require some
Unpacking.
that's gonna require some conversation. Because I
if you're
guarantee
lucky, Bailey, I'll just make you watch Wolf Cop.
I'd rather watch Wolf Cop.
if Bailey watches Porky's, I'm telling you right now, I bet money that all of us watch Porky's as well on our own time, just so we can talk about it.
Yeah,
That movie is
Porky's episode.
That movie is fucked.
Yeah. Let us know
Wow.
what you thought, naughty or nice.
Yeah,
out
let us
of
know what
these
you
two
think
movies.
of Christmas gift exchange at Palooza. If you guys like this concept,
Can we get a shorter name somehow?
I love
No,
it.
next year's a
Brandon.
goddamn sequel. It's Gift Exchange
Brandon.
whatever Palooza Part 2, Electric
my
Boogaloo.
Don't give them ideas.
Resurgence.
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 Oh, my.
Oh man, yeah, this has been a blast, and we got everyone on. We was able to get everyone on, even Urs.
Yeah.
Ursa's kind of here. Say hi, Urs.
He's here. Trust us.
everybody.
Yeah.
I almost thought it was him for a second.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to get your voice super deep, and you might.
Ursa,
sound like-
can you hear us? I know we're garbly, but can you hear us, Ursa?
I
Ursa,
don't think
blink
Ursa's
if you
there.
can hear us.
He don't even have his camera on.
I know, Michael. I know.
Yeah.
He just
But hey,
he walked
this-
away a long time ago. I'll bet he's cooking dinner.
for sure.
Just so
Yeah.
everyone knows at home that we are recording this remotely.
Yeah.
Ursa's in Seattle,
Yeah,
and he joined through his hotspot on his phone. So whatever we got out of him was a blessing.
was a blessing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we
Christmas
got his
miracle.
part. That's what
Yeah.
I'm glad we got
Yeah.
his part. But very cult talk. Christmas isn't over. Tomorrow you can join us Christmas Day for the very first edition of Cult of Russell. It's been a long time coming, and you'll have the very first edition of Cult of Russell as we review Christmas Chronicles.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
So that's tomorrow, and in real time that's tomorrow as well. So I gotta watch that.
In real
So,
time, it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we
in
do
real
have to
time.
watch
So
that.
yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this concept we cooked up here for the Christmas thing. I think this should be our new tradition. This is
I
a
think so.
fun thing. I enjoyed this a lot. So even though I had to watch Animus, I still enjoyed
Even though
the
you had
concept.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, finally, after 10 years of dodging it, I finally
They
That's
finally
not what
got
I
you.
they finally got me. But it happens.
It does. Can't
Uh,
escape them all.
Can't escape them all. But hey, I gotta have Mike watch Wolf Cop, and everyone else seemed to enjoy their movies. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. It's
I
about
What the season's
I-
about.
Yeah, I got the fucking socks for Christmas, but
You
everyone else
got
gotta open their nice shiny toys and enjoy.
Well,
it.
I mean, you've given us so many socks this year.
That's
we just wanted to.
What do you guys think Urs got? What did Urs get? Because everyone was like, for Beautician and the Beast. I find that a genuinely good movie.
Did he give it a nice?
He did give it a nice. He got
a used condom.
Everyone seemed to enjoy their shit.
I guess Ursa got the box of chocolates. It's good enough. It disappears once you're done with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. But this has been Gift Exchange A-Palooza Part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tune in tomorrow. Calder Russell, the Christmas Chronicles. That'll be available everywhere on all the pod feeds and here at Cult Talk Net, youtube.com/Cult Talk Net. So be sure to tune in for that. We hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a safe holiday. I've been Ty.
I've been Eric.
I've been Michael.
Not this time, motherfucker. Not this time. I'm Ben, bitch. All day, every day. I'll take all of this space. I'm Ben. Ben, motherfucker. That's my name.
And Urs was here as well. Urs was here.
His E is here still.
Yeah, we can still see him on the recording. And after we close out, he'll probably be on the recording. So,
let's just be sitting there.
Just sitting there waiting for his turn to get in.
Guys!
But there you guys have it. Ladies and gentlemen, Merry Christmas. From all of us here at Call Talk Net, tune in tomorrow. And that's it.
Please.